Let's move on to this. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed our lives in many ways. We're unable to live our lives the normal way or even enjoy Christmas like we used to. But lucky for us, TikTok content creators keep us entertained. One of them is Sipho Alphi Mkhwanazi. He has over 100,000 followers and leaves them in stitches with his videos. Now, before we cross to him, let's just take a listen to one of those videos. Good evening, Alfie. Thank you so much for your time this evening. I must admit, I'm one of those people who's an absolute fan of your work as well as your TikToks. But just give our viewers, for those who don't know you, how did you get into this, and what inspires your content?
Slindelo, good evening, and thank you so much for having me on your show tonight. I go by the name of Sipho Alphi Mkhwanazi, and what you see there, and this is what I always say to people, if you have met my mom, you will understand everything you see on all the videos that I post. I am literally my mom's reincarnation. She is my alter ego.
That's amazing. Alfie, take us through the content creating process of your videos. So when you're deciding to put up a video, what exactly are you looking at? Is it trends on social media? Is it what's happening around you?
It's the weirdest thing ever. I live in a bubble, essentially. I'm not one of those people who are constantly up to date with everything that's happening, because sometimes things can just get so crazy. So what I do is literally just grab my phone and click record. I hardly ever need to do a double take, ever. I sit on my bed. Most of the time, I'm literally, so the video that you see right now, I'm sitting on my bed and I'm frustrated about something, and I click record and I just share my frustrations. And what I've realized is that it so happens that quite a lot of people share the same frustrations that I have with a lot of things. So I think that's why people relate to so much of my content.
I think so as well, because a lot of it is, it's stuff you go through on a daily basis. It's stuff around the festive season. I mean, one of my favorite videos from you is one where you said that we were going to experience a big December. But I want to know, how's your December turning out? Because I don't know, for me, I feel like we're being robbed a little bit here.
Listen, in September, I said, you know what, we are expecting a very, very big December. Then we got to December. December hasn't been giving it. December hasn't been doing things. So I've had discussions with March. After my rant, and I said, March, listen, this is where we're going to go big. Because December is raining, thunder showers, whatnot. I'm actually expecting load shedding soon. So, yeah, it's not giving.
Yeah, it's definitely not the gift that's giving this year. But, we're seeing this rise in social media influencers, content creators. Is this a viable career, do you think?
It definitely is. It really is, especially when you are very much intentional about it. There's a difference between being somebody who's relatable, but and somebody who can actually work with a brand. Because that is essentially how you start making or monetizing from your influence and the engagement that you make on social media. So it's all a matter of positioning yourself as a creative and knowing what to say, when to say it, and being so strategic enough to be spotted by brands so that you're still able to be yourself, authentic, but still be able to carry a brand's message. And that's where the money-making process happens. It's still very teething phases for me. But yeah, it is. I look up to brilliant content creators that are doing so well. And I study their work. I look at what they do. And there's a lot of money that can be made. Because what I've noticed as well is that people no longer follow brands. People follow people. It's how you make people feel that makes you associate with a brand. That's where we're headed now.
Definitely. We definitely are seeing those kinds of moves. Now, for somebody who wants to get into this, where do they start? And, you know, we're still in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic. What are some of the lessons you've learned with this content creation and using social media to your advantage?
I think one of the first things I can say to people is be authentic. There's only one of you. And when we experience the essence of who you are, that's when we start enjoying you for who you are and, what you give us. That's the first aspect. The second aspect is, of course, be intentional. Ask questions, learn about things, know what to say, when to say them. Then that will attract people. Number 3, position yourself, shoot your shots, they call it on Twitter. Identify people that you want to work with, identify brands that you want to work with, and be intentional about putting yourself out there. It takes you being vulnerable for a short while, but once people see the value that you offer, the world is your oyster.
Oh, that's brilliant. What can we expect for you in 2022?
The Alfie brand is growing in leaps and bounds. I didn't expect us to be on over 100,000 followers in under 4 months. My social media following has grown immensely, and being an MC is one of my biggest passions, has also just given me so much access to so many things. I look at the likes of Trevor Noah. There's a lady called Elisa who's from Kenya, and when I look at them, I see that there is possibilities. There are places that the Alfie brand is going to go, and it's going to surprise a lot of people, and I'm really excited about it.
Well, I certainly can't wait to see what you're going to be bringing for us in 2022. If the past 4 months are anything to go by, then it's going to be quite an interesting year. Thank you so much for your time, Alfie Mkhwanazi. That is Sipho Alphi Mkhwanazi, a content creator as well as a TikTok sensation.